Welcome to the Cheap Pop Wrestling Podcast. There was no wrestling on this week except for a couple rerun shows, so we're going to match the same thing they kind of did. Uh, First of all, we're going to start off with our top five returns, then go to our top 10 match. We're going to start off with our top five returns, starting at number five, The Rock and Pat McAfee showing up on SmackDown September 15th.
Yeah, this was just kind of fun for everybody involved, honestly. Nobody expected this to happen at all. And it was just a good time overall. Pat McAfee high as hell in the ring, The Rock coming out, doing the Rock things, and getting him to have to, silence half a SmackDown for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then him calling Theory a jackass or something along the lines of that. I kind of forgot.
It had something, you can't hear it when you go back and watch it, but it was great either way.
Yep. Next, we have Cody Rhodes returning after his long surgery wait time, or post-surgery wait time. Him coming back at the Royal Rumble and then winning it.
The only thing that keeps us from kind of being higher is they announced he was returning before it happened, instead of it just being that surprise entrance. But it's still nice to have him back after the classic trilogy with Seth Rollins.
Yeah. It was great. I just wish they didn't telegraph that he was going to win as well. But it is what it is.
Bringing him in at 30, we all knew it was going to happen.
We could put John Cena on here twice, but the one we're going to go with was when he returned to face Austin Theory for the build-up to WrestleMania. He came back on a 3/6/23 episode of Raw. He absolutely murdered Theory on the mic.
You just cooked him. It was... The only thing I hate about this is what happened with Theory afterwards, because he lost every bit of momentum he ever had from the start.
Yeah. But number two would be higher on the list, but he hadn't had a match yet. CM Punk returning at Survivor Series, probably the loudest pop we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, it speaks for itself, honestly.
Yep. Number one, Randy Orton returning at Survivor Series. Another extremely loud pop. And they acted like he wasn't going to show up. We all know he was going to be there, but still awesome.
Yeah, we knew he was showing up. It was still awesome when he showed up, and even his quick little match was awesome. His little bit he did. We got the highlights of Randy Orton in about 3 minutes. It was great.
Next, we got the top 10 matches of the year. We'll start off with number 10, Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch at Payback. Probably one of the bigger surprises of the year in terms of matches.
Yeah, the storyline up to this match was great. It was the weird bullshit afterwards nobody really cared about.
I don't know. What I remember was the build was like, it was kind of like, are we going to end this feud? When are we going to end this? This is getting stale. And then the match happened, and then everybody's opinion on it all flipped.
Wait, was this the end of the feud, or was this the beginning? I can't remember.
This was the end of it. And then at the end of it, Zoe Stark came in and
That's what it is. All right, yeah. Either way, the match was great up until the weird Zoe Starks thing. But you could say that for 90% of WWE matches this year.
Yeah. Where are we at now? Number 9. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles at Night of Champions. I wish they would have let these guys cook for an hour. It was pretty entertaining. Seth Rollins ended up getting the win and winning the World Heavyweight Championship and is still retaining to this date.
Yeah, it's two wrestlers you know are going to put on one hell of a match. We knew who was going to win going into it, but it was still a great 20, 30-minute match they had.
Yeah. Next, we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the tag titles at Night of Champions as well, if I remember that right. Yep.
Yes. It was Sammy's first trip to Saudi, which made it a lot more emotional.
The crowd was super into it.
The crowd loved having him there. You even saw Roman break character a little bit just to be happy for Sammy being there. Overall, great match.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Seeing Sammy getting chants from the Saudi fans was pretty cool to see as well. But next we have Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest at Backlash. Probably the coolest entrance of the year.
Absolutely. Just I have no idea what his song was or what they were saying, but seeing a whole crowd get into it was great. And then all the shenanigans in the street fight was even better. We saw Savio Vega for a minute. We had Carlito. I know.
Yeah, it was a mess and then fun at the same time. Next we had number 6, Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes at NXT No Mercy.
Yeah,
Brutal match.
this was the final match of their feud, and it was one of these stiffer matches of the year. They were legitimately hitting the shit out of each other.
Yeah, this was like watching a home run derby. Everybody just hitting bombs the whole time. But number 5, Chad Gable versus Gunther, the rematch on Raw for September 4th. This would have been my number 1 if it was on a pay per view and had a better crowd.
This should have been on a pay per view, honestly. It was a pay per view quality match that everybody loved, everybody wanted. You didn't know what was going to happen until the very end. It was just perfect.
Yeah, this was. If you loved Kurt Angle, you loved this match. It was. It felt like you were watching a new version of Kurt Angle go at it in the ring with Chad Gable.
Absolutely.
Like it was beautiful. Even did the ankle lock for a little bit. Man, this is one of the ones where if you were an Angle fan, you go back and watch that one. But on to number 4, we got the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 39. Banger.
Yeah, there's really nothing to say about this. This had us on a roller coaster of emotions the entire time.
Yeah.
It was just well done. The build up to it, the match itself, everything afterwards. One of the few things they did right this year.
Yeah. One glaring thing we left off our top 10. We left off Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for that reason. It kind of ruined the year for that championship.
Yeah, ever since then the booking's just it's been shit.
Yep. Number 3. This is one of the things that came from Roman not really doing shit all year. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. This feud didn't make sense at first, and then it got good at the end.
Yeah, the ending of this match and everything that happened post match is really what elevates it. Because the first little bit of that match was just dumb as shit, but the way it all tied together at the end really elevated it.
Yep. Number 2, the best women's match in all of wrestling for the year. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. Just from bell to bell, these two put on a show.
And from bell to bell, from the setup at the Royal Rumble, the history between them, it was. It sounds weird me saying men's quality match, but you kind of get what I'm saying because nobody really talks about women's wrestling in America, at least.
Yeah, an honorable mention that Rhea had, or that I wanted to throw on here, but again, it was just a regular match on Raw. She had a match against Natalya, and they
Natalya
let that one go
for once.
They finally gave her enough time to do something, and it was great. But yeah, on to number 1. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus at WrestleMania 39. This was the big meaty men slapping meat match.
This should surprise no one. Any list you look up anywhere right now about top match of 2023, this is number one.
Yeah.
It was. This match stole the weekend.
Yeah, this should have been the main event. This was also for the Intercontinental title, and this was where Gunther started. I mean, he already had momentum, but this is where you finally got to see why he is what he is.
Yeah, this is the Gunther that everybody saw in NXT and NXT UK for years. Finally exposing it to everybody, and this is why Gunther where he's at now.
Right. But on to our top 10 WWE stars. This was voted on. This entire list was voted on by me and Dakota. Our other two co-hosts are busy for the night, so
it's holiday season, everybody's busy.
Yeah,
they left the two unattended autistic people do this one. So if you don't agree with it, go fuck yourself.
I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
Yeah, I'm making grilled cheese at night. You know what I mean?
As far as making it at night,
not making them at night, Dad. I'm making them at night. Also, go on Netflix, watch Shane Gillis' stand up. It's perfect.
Yep. Number 10 for the WWE stars. Dominic Mysterio. Start of the year, we all hated him. Now he's one of the best workers in the business.
He can work a match. He can kind of talk on a mic when he's not getting drowned out. But just the leaps and bounds and improvements he's made just this year alone earns him that top 10 spot, and I don't care what anybody says.
Speaking of on the way up, number 9, Tiffany Stratton put on crazy matches, especially on NXT pay-per-views. Probably one of the next top female stars on the main roster, hopefully soon.
Hopefully, but she absolutely is the future of the women's, division.
Speaking of women's division, we're going to keep it right in there. Number 8, Becky Lynch.
I don't think much
self-explanatory.
Yeah, so you don't need to say much about that one.
A little low. She had a couple low points of the year, but for the most part, top star.
And the low points weren't even really her fault.
No, it was more or less the booking and the feuds that she was in.
But unfortunately, with wrestling, it's how you're booked.
Yep. Number 7, another one who's on the way up, Ilya Dragunov. And we're going to go ahead and lump him in with number 6, Carmelo Hayes. Both of them put on the best matches in general in wrestling all year, and they did it a couple times over.
If you want to see the future of the WWE, you look no further than those two and Gunther. And Trick Williams. Those 4 are going to carry this company for the next decade at the very least.
Yeah, as long as they can keep them under contract. But number 5, fastest rising guy. He says it in all his promos, and it's true. Number 5 is L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
After his feud with Bray Wyatt, he might as well have just strapped a rocket to him and went straight to the moon. That, as much as WWE didn't want to push him at one point, they kind of had to with just the fan reaction.
I said everything about him is electric.
Very Rock and Austin-esque.
Which I think is his main appeal, is our demographic, honestly, but it works.
But if they would let him cook on the mic for a little longer, he would definitely be a lot higher in other people's minds. But people think he's a carbon copy. Sorry.
I think at Mania is really when his push fully takes off, once we fix whatever fucking title situation we've got going on everywhere.
Yeah. SmackDown has two guys who currently aren't even full-time guys that are champions. It's insane.
It's wild, but just if you even go back and look up his Eli Drake stuff, like the man's had the magic from the beginning.
Shoes of a champion.
That promo alone is just gold.
Number 4. On to number 4, Rhea Ripley.
Would
Easily the best women's wrestler in the entire business.
we know why?
Yeah, if you just go back and watch her WrestleMania match with Charlotte, Charlotte was who we thought was the best, and then sadly mistaken. But on to number 3 before Mo comes through my wall like the Kool-Aid man. Just for me mentioning Rhea Ripley 3 times.
Rhea Ripley.
Oh God. Number 3, Seth Rollins had the company on his back the entire time that Roman's been out, and he got awarded with the World Heavyweight Championship and still has it.
Let's say, should he still have it? Questionable. Does he deserve it? Absolutely. But like John said, when Roman was gone, Seth stepped up and put it on his back and carried this motherfucker.
Yeah,
they made the U.S. title, him and Bobby Lashley, look like it was the World Heavyweight Championship for the longest time.
Yeah. Fun fact: him and Dominic Mysterio were top 2 in matches, total matches for the entire year. I don't have the exact number right now, but those two were at the top.
It was a surprising amount.
Yep, and then Cody Rhodes is a distant third. We'll get to that. Number 2, Gunther. We were a little bit of an internal debate with me if I should put Gunther at 1, but you can't have a heel at number 1. You got to have a face there. So
got it
there at number 2. Yeah,
but you could definitely argue him number 1 and our number 1, number 2. They're interchangeable. They've both put on great work every time they've been asked.
Yep. Honorable mentions before we get into our Cody Rhodes bill here. Honorable mentions: CM Punk.
It's fuck you, AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 2, honorable mention. We have 3 here. John Cena, and at number 3, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, you may have hated his WrestleMania match. We weren't the biggest fans of it, but that short period we had him, it was fun, and we miss him. And
That was Backlash. It was Backlash.
Yep. And a side note to shit on AEW some more, your pay-per-view that's on tonight, dog shit so far.
Yeah. Speaking of AEW, our number 1 guy is former AEW star, helped make that company. Number 1, Cody Rhodes.
I know a lot of people are tired of the whole finish the story thing, and some people say he shouldn't have it. The man's deserved it.
He's the biggest draw in the company outside of LA Knight and Roman Reigns.
Yep. And for him to go from absolutely nothing to leaving the company, he did this. I don't know if he did it before Drew, but he did it better than Drew, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
But to leave, make your own name to where you are a thorn in WWE's side, and for them to come find you personally to bring you back home, Universal title is going to be on him at Mania. And if not, well, I think a lot of us are done with the company.
Right.
Is I can't take another 300 days of Roman Reigns holding that belt hostage.
Yeah, I might pick up a new hobby.
I'm gonna go back to drinking.
Before we get out of here, little 3 tidbits of wrestling news.
Oh God,
Sasha Banks.
Let's do the easy ones first.
Oh yeah, Dynamite beat Raw in ratings for the first time all year, and it was because Raw was running a highlight show.
Oh my god, you would have thought they fucking conquered the world.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you took a live wrestling show and beat a company that took the week off, literally. And you didn't even destroy them like you're talking about. You barely beat them.
Beat them by 100,000 people when usually Raw brings in 2 million. I don't think 2 million people have watched AEW since its inception.
Ugh. I know we shit on AEW a lot, but they deserve it. A company that started so strong and could have been amazing is some indie mud show bullshit now.
Lord Jim Cornette said, "Thank you, fuck you, bye." Speaking of talks that are falling through, Sasha Banks slash Mercedes Monet contract negotiations with WWE have fallen through. Apparently, she wants more money than Charlotte Flair. Laughable.
This is the rumor anyway, but there's been hints dropped that she's returning. No one fucking knows. Multiple media outlets have put that talks have fallen through, but they did the same thing with CM Punk at Survivor Series. Personally, this is one I can live with or without. I've never been a Sasha Banks fan.
I think it strengthens the division if she comes back, though.
It does what? Sorry, you broke up there.
It strengthens the division if she comes back.
I mean, it does, kinda, but just never really been a fan of her work. I don't really like her attitude. I've never liked her personas. There's nothing about her I've ever really liked.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, something about Flacco. That's what people are going to compare this to, but it's not.
Fair enough.
I can't describe it. Like she's been a part of excellent women's matches. She has, but
Yeah.
outside of those major matches, like I don't
It's
know.
all right, man. Tell us how you really feel. I'm playing.
It's how I feel. Honestly, it's just I don't like her. I don't know why. It's the persona, the mic skills, the in ring. The in ring's not terrible, but it's not what everybody makes it out to be. I mean, hell, she was out there injuring people left and right, like Nia was too, but didn't catch the same amount of flack for it.
That's fair.
I don't know.
Last little bit. Chris Jericho accused of sexual assault by Kylie Ray. This was news, a couple years ago, and now it's come back up again.
So
Apparently,
was it the same person a couple years ago, or?
Yep.
Okay, so I know there was like sexual harassment, sexual assault type thing brought up a few years ago. I couldn't find out if it was the same person or not. But
Yeah.
more information about it's been leaked. Apparently, he told her to come to a meeting at his hotel room that she assumed other people would be a part of. It was just Jericho, and he tried to make a pass.
Disgusting.
It's I used to be a Jericho fan, and then the past few years have made it hard to even defend his old stuff when he was amazing.
Yeah. The another thing that came out with him, he was having a back and forth with Stephen P. New. If you listen to Jim Cornette's podcast, that's his lawyer, and he also happens to be CM Punk's lawyer too. Something about their non-disclosed agreement signing with the AEW where they can't come out and say stuff. And then Jericho made an ass of himself on Twitter again, and yeah.
Well, hello, Ken.
Well, hello.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's catch you up on the talking points at the end of the show here. So the first one, we're talking about the news going on in wrestling. I already forgot the first one. I've been drinking.
It was Sasha Banks coming back.
Yeah. Sasha Banks coming back. Apparently, reports have fallen through. What do you feel about the whole situation?
I called this. And you guys told me I was crazy. I called this back when Bailey was going through that shit with Damage Pro a couple months ago. She's gonna come back and
Well, the new report on multiple outlets is that talks have fallen through due to money disputes. But they also
Same thing.
they said the same thing about Punk days before he came back.
yeah, does that lightning strike twice though with the contracts?
You
Do you
never
believe those stories?
I never.
So you never know, because for months they've been saying Sasha wants more than Charlotte. And none of these outlets can accurately identify. None of these outlets can also accurately identify what her New Japan contract was. They don't know if it was appearance based, if it was timeline based, if it was just a per show agreement. No one knows.
Yeah.
The other one was AEW beating WWE, beating Raw and NXT in ratings this week because of
For the year into the shows.
Yeah, where AEW had a live show and WWE did not.
Yeah,
And their fans are going
they
crazy.
should. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens Monday. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the absolute butt fucking in the ratings, because this pay per view they have right now is trash. This Julia Hart match is one of those I usually skip this part of the video.
Do you think it's coincidence that Hunter's already mentioned that a former champion's coming back on Monday, so they're gonna fuck him in the ratings?
Yeah. The last one was the thing I sent you on the group chat of Jericho getting accused of sexual assault of Kylie Ray.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
You hear it though.
But yeah, Jericho, since he's left WWE, he's made a complete ass of himself. I forgot about the whole thing where I talked about it on the Cornet podcast of one of the shows they did overseas in WWE, and the security people came up to check on him, and they said he hit him with "Do you know who I am?" and it was flexing at him the whole time.
Dude, since he's left WWE, he has not been the same fucking person. And I think he knows that, and he's trying to do everything he can to hold fame. But
yeah,
it's time for him to step away and just disappear.
Anyway, since AEW started, it's been real hard to be a Jericho fan, and I'm going to apologize if you hear my dogs barking. Some fucking dickheads out here shooting off fireworks at 10 for some reason.
Yeah, one day early.
Fucking Bullitt County, baby. Woo! I've been drinking too much E&J to let this shit slide. I'm going to go make a scene.
But yeah, Ken, you just missed our countdown, but we ran through it fairly quickly.
Anyway, we sent the list in the group chat. Anything you would change or add?
Nah, I think I pretty much agreed with all of it.
Well. Yeah. Look at that. The two autistics is smart.
We finally got something right. But anyways, closing thoughts, AW fans, please get your tissue boxes ready for this next week. Make sure you take that shower and put in that job application.
Also, AEW, what the fuck is your booking? Like, why is Sammy Guevara and Jericho teaming up? And the last time they were here, like, Sammy betrayed him. Like, tell Tony Coke to put the toys away. And fucking some better storytelling in a Dr. Seuss book. Some better storytelling on 6 Taco Bell packets.
You know,
I love that.
You're asking AW fans to read a book, man. That's a problem.
I'm asking them to have an IQ greater than 6, which, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
Man. All right, well, we're going to close it out on that. AEW fans, take a shower. Make sure you follow us on everywhere you do social media at Cheap Hop Productions. and on TikTok. The best name on TikTok. I pop this potty for the cheap. With all that being said, this is Hook signing out. This was such good shit.
Thank y'all for letting me join. This is fun.
We love you, Ken. Don't worry, we'll be vibing the rest of the night. But to close, you call my girl Sloppenheimer the way she got that bomb ass coochie. This is Dakota, and we out of here.